When Republicans won control of the House, they vowed to repeal the health care law.
We came out with our pledge to America, and our pledge was to repeal Obamacare.
To repeal the job-killing Obamacare bill.
Obamacare is a bill that simply must be repealed.
There are 1.6 million reasons why we should repeal Obamacare.
But a funny thing happened on the way to the GOP talking point, because the Affordable Care Act is working for millions of Americans. It reduced the number of uninsured children by 1 million. It's helped 2.6 million seniors save more than $1 billion on prescription drugs. It provided 24 million seniors with free preventive care and is helping some 30,000 people with pre-existing conditions get the affordable coverage they so desperately need. People like Spike Dolomite Ward, a cancer patient and mother too. She generated a lot of buzz when she wrote an LA Times op-ed praising the president's health care law, saying, quote, "For me, it's been a lifesaver, perhaps literally. It's part of the law that really hits home for the president."
My mother, when she contracted cancer, the insurance companies started suggesting that, well, maybe this is a pre-existing condition. Maybe you could have diagnosed it before you actually purchased your insurance. Ultimately, they gave in, but she had to spend weeks fighting with insurance companies while she's in the hospital bed, and that happens all across the country. We are going to put a stop to that.
Joining me now is Spike Dolomite Ward, the author of that LA Times opinion piece, Obamacare to the Rescue. Spike, thanks for joining me tonight. What inspired you to write this?
Thank you for having me.
What inspired you to write this?
I was inspired to write it because I was in such despair, having gotten the news that I had cancer. And that's a shock in and of itself. When you're told that you have cancer, you immediately go to the worst place possibly mentally. So I was really afraid that I was going to die, and all I could think about was my kids. And on top of that, my family and I haven't had insurance for 2 years, and how was I going to pay for this? So in shock, a good friend of mine, another nonprofit leader in Los Angeles, did some research for me and found out about PCIP. And I went ahead and I applied, and I had to wait until December 1st for coverage. But during that time, I was in such despair, and I was so afraid. I was in such a dark place. Wow. I asked my husband if he wouldn't mind if I went ahead and I wrote about our experience, because it would help other people, and that would help me get out of my really dark place. And with his blessing, I went ahead and did that.
Let me, Spike, show people what you wrote that is very interesting to us. This is a quote from the op-ed page in which you formally apologize and you push the Obamacare's message. You say, and I'm reading from the piece, it says, "I'm sorry I didn't do enough of my own research to find out what promises the president has made good on. I'm sorry I didn't realize he really has stood up for me and my family and for so many others like me. I'm getting a new bumper sticker to the cover, that the one that says, 'Got Nope.' It will say, 'Obama cares.'" Why did you write that?
I wrote that, and I wanted to out myself as an irresponsible citizen as well. I was so angry and so disgusted when I heard that in 2014 uninsured people were going to have to purchase health insurance from these companies that had already forced us almost into bankruptcy. And that made me so angry that I re-registered as an independent, and I just quit listening. And it's an irresponsible thing to do. Before that, I was a politically astute person. I'm well known in the LA area for all my work with my nonprofit and public school, education causes and whatnot. But by not listening, I didn't do my part as a citizen. And when I found out that this Obamacare's program was going to literally save my life, I owed it to the president to publicly apologize and to humbly admit that I had checked out, and that's wrong.
Well, let me tell you something. The buzz you caused was well-deserved, not because some of us support the president, but because you had the courage to stand up and say something that hopefully maybe some of the people in Washington will hear, and other people that are in a situation that is life-threatening can get some relief. Mrs. Ward, thank you so much for your time, and best wishes for your recovery.